This is to update my claim in respect to British royals. I'm not going to give in from this claim, but it's important for me to update the views on United Kingdom, because I see this claim of mine indifferent from Mr. Sunak, indifferent from Mr. Boris Johnson, indifferent, I'm going to say, from all the politicians I have met over the course of the years, and have had interfered with my right to be alive. British police, MI5, many members of British public which have done nothing but whatever was possible in their hands for me to die eventually. They basically were trying to get rid of me. I don't see this as a issue which would be dividing a society or anything like this, but because of what I have observed, literally, is a complete derision for human dignity and even for life. And in this case, this is for my life. I've decided I'm going to press charges against United Kingdom as whole, as a country, not only as a royal family, as it was before. I claim that you British are all guilty for 28 years of my life being ruined, and you have even attempted to get me murdered through cancer issues. You extended assassinations attempts which took place since 1995, human experimentation on me, using me like an animal to experiment on me. You use me as a slave trade with Russians. You use me as a sting operation in a countries before wars took place in whatever regions. I foremost believe that you were trying to get rid of me, that you were trying to murder me for the sake of your money, for the sake of for the theft. I'm not going to say your money, I'm just going to say for the sake of the theft, for the sake of human indecency. And also, as such, as I suggested yesterday on news site, I would refer to foreign governments to consider you, in a light of what I stated, as unsuitable to participate anywhere in the world in common goals with allies. I don't think that you are a fair trade. I don't think that you are a fair partner that should be included in any kind of global, in any issues concerning future global development. I think that you are a risk. I think that you are a fiasco, and I think you are actually a threat to yourself. The threat to yourself can clearly be seen here. This clearly can be seen from this here. This is something that is undisputable. We have 2,500 British veterans eyeing each other, even if only from or through the fence. Media fence, let's say, okay? Let's say just journalism. With homeless immigrants, with impoverished immigrants. But you're talking about British veterans. When you have elderly people freezing to death, your own British people, elderly people, malnutritioned, I think you must be considered as whole, as a society, as a British, as unacceptable anywhere in the world for any ally that stood up for your interests. You should be rejected as whole until you resolve your personal issues. And as a form of resolving your issues, I was good enough to gesture you for your parliament, for your house, to appoint a psychiatric board where your loving royals should be brought and you are a right to know why their general, why their views, why their special interests, why their special needs. You know, special needs? You know what that means, special needs? Talking about the special needs. Why do their special needs differ so much from the needs of the general public? Why are they so special? Laws need to bend down. People must fucking die for their special needs. When I say special needs, I could say mentally retarded. But in this case, this is about issues that range way beyond kleptomania. These are about issues that range in the world of psychological disorders that endanger people's lives, threaten them, and eventually destroy people's lives. People die because of your conduct in United Kingdom. People die because of your conduct in United Kingdom. I lost 28 years of life because of your MI5, MI6, because of your corrupt police, because of the members of the British public, prime ministers, including Sunak, including Boris Johnson, all of them, in between, every one of them, were unwilling to act accordingly with the laws you have written in your constitution, whatever. You don't have a constitution. You have laws or whatever you have over there. I don't even know. I don't know what you really have. But you gotta live by something that's written, right? You should. And you don't. You are a participant in major post-World War II treaties. You're a member of United Nations. You were a member of European Union. You just exited European Union. In my case, your crime lasts no less than 28 years. Therefore, as a member of European Union, you acted against me for 27 years or so, just as a member of the European Union. Now, what has stricken me the most, maybe the most disgusting part of your British trait, of your British values, what has stricken me the most, maybe, and I have not even written about yet, is that you have implicated foreign people in crime against me, such as students from abroad, such as even immigrants from abroad, behind which you have attempted to hide your psychological issues, theft. Based on a slave trade. So you use me as a slave for your trade, and then you have involved racial ethnic issues, racially ethnically charged issues, as a weapon of trade with whatever you have managed to earn through the slavery, literally. Oh, that's fucking bad. Long-term unemployment was supported with a world of human experimentation, real human experimentation, butchery inside of this house in Slovenia where I was brought, and also in Great Britain, among other. So that members of your royal family, British royal family from London, could look more credible on a stage. This isn't about Putin. This is not about Donald Trump only. This is about your own British royal family members. Maybe one of the most disgusting things that I have read about is that Queen eventually struggled with the cancer issues during her last days. Something that was not known, something I was reminded during MK Ultra, but something that was not known anywhere in the public even, that was hidden away from the eyes of the public. Prince Charles had swollen fingers, something that he was brazen enough during MK Ultra to, even through his son William, was brazen enough to gesture me that I'm disconcerted about his issues. Health suffering issues. There's one thing that nor Queen nor Charles possibly could hide from the public. By the way, life expectancy for Prince Charles, now King Charles, is health issues is just 5 years. He had this, he genetically have inherited this problem. He's not that young anymore. And one thing that nor Queen nor Charles were able to hide, and it's nothing written about Andrew yet, was the amount of alcohol these people have consumed over the course of the years. It wasn't only Andrew that's got his liver eaten from the alcohol. In 2004, he have experienced life-threatening situations already with the liver issues related to the liver, related to the internal organs due to the amount of alcohol this man have consumed. It was nothing but women and alcohol. It was also Charles, and it was also his mother, Queen Elizabeth. I think the whole 1-800 London special needs cabal is just infected with a type of DNA that projects alcoholism, failure, crime as the ultimate solution, payment, form of payment for the human decency, for the work normal people perform. And thus I come to conclusion that you, British as whole, I don't care anymore about United Kingdom and Britain. There was no United Kingdom in 95 and 96 and 97, 98 in heads of British royals. Not of Princess Anne, not of Prince Andrew, not now King Charles. They were very humble people, trying to be around, very much indifferent, acted very much indifferent from the people they came with, their bodyguards and so on. With the time, as the trade had prospered, their ego became uncontrollable. Something that I actually supported, something that I took pride in instilling in British royals. Therefore, I demanded from the British royals to take part in an ownership, part of something that should contribute to I'm not going to say self-confidence, but self-awareness, basically what you represent as far as your interests. And I think, based on what I see, it was a big mistake. They did blew up their ego, but from what I see oftentimes in the media, I was also told to see as news such as brought a homeless, brought a young boy home, helpless man, and ended up losing a roof to one, or even better maybe, adopted a pet, a creature, a beautiful creature, brought one home. Why this guy, why that girl had the regrets adopting a creature, whatever, what it turned out to be, then a big wolf with big teeth and so on. It doesn't make any fucking impression on me, other than what I'm gonna state to you. My ex-cruise line co-workers have stated me in 1995, and it's what even Prince Andrew did, because somehow they did sting me enough to even get that information from the crew members, from the governments. It reminded me, of course, of the years. That's how disgusting, filthy this shit is. They stated to me, sir, it's not that we don't like you. I'm still not going to say which governments did this. We like you very much. But what we're going to do is we're going to continue our people to make jokes in front of you, for you to laugh on what, once you start laughing, we're going to give you a slap. They were from Asia, these people. Governments. There were people that have seen this stuff already happening before. There were governments that have seen this stuff happening already before. According to their words, time and again, in fact. So imagine that people joke around you, co-workers, and you are part of these co-workers, and you want to joke with them, and once you start joking, they are like, now I also understand the atmosphere from the Wackenhut Corporation, from other positions I held throughout the United States of America, and instead they ask you, what the fuck are you laughing about? What's funny to you? On a cruise line, I was told, we're going to give you a slap when you start to laugh with us. But it's not because we don't like you, it's because we like you. It's because, sir, we have seen this many times before. They have done this to other people. They destroyed people. How did they destroy the people? When you read your fucking news daily in the British media, it might be fun to see their children. It might be fun to see a grandma it's not so fun to think when dead corpses are left behind this way. I also understand my life in the United States of America now, why my co-workers also, they were not happy about it. They watched me with the misery. The list, the most disgusting part about all this stuff maybe is how Prince Andrew they learned about, British royals learned about, your bosses, your masters learned about all this stuff. How people were trying to warn me about you, your British ways, proceeded with this crime against me by saying to me, well, Bobby, what is it going to be? How are we going to do it? because I repeatedly discarded, because I repeatedly ignored the warning signs that people were giving me around me. To the degree that British royals started to indulge in the type of behavior that my co-workers would display around me. I didn't get any of this. I eventually started to believe it was a form of racism that went around me. Now I figure out it was something else that went on. That's why since 1995, whatever you have earned, not only through the trade with Russia, with the Eastern Europe, but also with the China, with whomever you have earned through the foreign trade, Argentina, Brazil, it's going to be a subject not to the interest rate, but to my pocket. Absolutely everything. I cannot force you to lock your people up, your British royals, or, as I stated, for you to seal a Buckingham Palace, seal their castle, seal their houses, and bring them in front of a board of psychiatrists appointed by the British House Parliament. But I will demonstrate you my determination about how much the human life is worth, how far I'm willing to go. Especially because you British attempted to murder through the cancer issues, especially because of your derision for my life. It's not even about a human dignity anymore, a human decency anymore. It goes into the issues of cancer. It goes into the issues of making me feel responsible, made me feel, trying to instill in me responsibility for something I had absolutely nothing to do with. Yesterday I have posted, use that as a trade weapon. Play down, individual. You don't fucking play down here. Here you get destroyed for the stuff like this. I'm not going to play you down either. You get destroyed here for the stuff like this. One thing is for certain, if you're not going to settle accordingly to what I stated today, the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to leave the red mark as far as I'm concerned. And I hope that people who do trade with you will remember my case forever. Settlement you're never going to reach of any kind. Not even for 50 billion, or even whatever the fuck you have spoken about in 96. You're never going to reach with me. You're never going to reach with me. You sponsored police here in Slovenia. You paid them for the crime against me. You ruined my life in the United States of America. You didn't destroy, burned one relationship. You destroyed absolutely every aspect of life around me. Nothing really was said to you in respect to my life. Your ultimate goal was to rob me of life and get me basically killed. That's all there is to it. That much about your story in respect to Queen Elizabeth, how she struggled during her last days with a cancer. About Prince Charles having problems with his inherited DNA. Health issues. I didn't drink 1 gallon of alcohol in my entire life, and that includes beer and wine in one. Do you understand? 1 fucking gallon I didn't drink in my entire life. I'm 51. In December I'm going to be 51. On the other hand, I had to see animals drowning in alcohol, therefore suffering from cancer and drowning in the alcohol, therefore suffering from something that life expectancy maximum is 5 years. Talking about King Charles now. And at the same time drowning in a fucking alcohol. The last time he blamed me for his misfortune, And also what was written all over the news media is that during his long flights that he gets his swollen fingers and so on. Was, I don't know, in 2019 or 2020 to India. I think it was 2019. To his chosen selected sect in India that dresses themselves in orange. And it was because of me that I don't know what the fuck. After 25 years of MK Ultra torture, you come to tell a person like this? You think the person is going to take you seriously. Yes, now I am taking you seriously. Now I'm taking you just as my co-workers from Celebrity Cruise Line Meridian ship have told me to take you. I'm laughing no more. There's no more Your jokes, your ways, your views are not funny anymore. Your image on the internet, on the media is an insult to me. It's an ultimate insult to me. I want you to understand that every time I see you on the internet, I only go to see you to remind myself of what you have done to me. This is not a love song. Your children, your cute grandmas, your grandchildren, your cars, your way of life, your funny, your witty ways, they're not funny to me. Maybe they're still funny to British members of society, if to anyone at all, because I think it's a lobby. I think it's a theft machinery, a robbery, more than anything. That British people are well aware. They well know what it's all about. But it's not funny to me anymore. It's not interesting to me. Your stories, your bullshit, that have eaten 28 years of my life. So that's all I wanted to tell you today. Subject to what kind of claim you are. I hope that people whom you have met inside of this room, they were meeting you inside of this room, are going to take this as a serious warning in respect to your global whereabouts, where it is that you want to participate. I don't think British as whole should be allowed anywhere near till they ensure in front of the psychiatric board why the needs of this family 1-800 London cabal differs so much from the needs of the general public. Freezing pensioners. Malnutrition elderly people. British veterans. Iron. Homeless. With the immigrants from abroad, with the people who have risked their lives to come somewhere, regardless of whether they should or not. These are the things to consider for all the world leaders. This is radicalism, and this radicalism should be answered in front of the board of psychiatrists. As for people, I believe, not even for the people of Britain, it's the allies, for the British allies have the right to know what the fuck do your special needs differ so much from the needs of the general population. I'm going to say from the minimum requirements for people to be even alive. Why do your special needs differ so much from the basic requirements of the members of society to stay even alive? Those are the things you should ask when it comes to those people. You should not let this go. This kind of radicalism is creating all sorts of mental illnesses. We see around the world, and too also is becoming are the fruits of radicalism, craziness, insanity, type of Charles Manson lunacy. But it starts here. It starts with a serious, most serious psychiatric disorders which precede kleptomania, the qualities that your British royals possess. I don't care. I don't know how you're going to resolve your British issues. I really do not care. I know how I will protect my interests. This girl was interested in me. Her name is Tabitha Poison. Nice name, isn't it, for a beautiful young girl that would award herself with a name like this, isn't it? The thing is that she was not the only one. There was a whole lot of young people that was destroyed, wasted. Ruined along the way, so that the special interests of few could be satisfied, fulfilled. Madonna was Tabitha Poison since 1995. One of these beautiful females. She probably was on the second list in the United States when it comes to dating since 1995 that I was open marriage-wise. Since 1995. She went through the first divorce, according to her, so she can marry me. Then she went through the second divorce. After her second divorce, we got into a death fight with her. I couldn't take it no more because I felt that she was breaking the word. She got married to another guy. The thing is that I can tell that it didn't have nothing to do with her. The thing is that I can tell it didn't have anything to do with Tabitha Poison, as she gave herself a name. The thing is, it did have to do with Eugenia. It did have to do with Beatrice, just as it did have to do with the daughter of Benjamin Netanyahu, who also was listed as my potential wife. The first daughter of Benjamin Netanyahu from the United States of America. It did have to do with the lies that were road to nowhere. It had to do with the lies on how I am a racist or how I prefer, I don't know what the fuck that I prefer, so that some people could get their way, so that some people could get their special needs accommodated. These two also have promised themselves to me, and I wanted to, but the first one had a better looking friend when it was time for a marriage, not only a fiancé, which apparently, according to the Prince Andrew, I have chosen over Eugenia. And so therefore I was out. Beatrice, on the other hand, with whom also everything was arranged, had a problem with the spine, which I also disliked so much that Andrew decided the other way. And so it went with all the British princesses, with all the trash, with all the garbage along the way, till this house that you see right there was being sold to me for amount of money that you see right there, with the hope to have nothing but the sympathies for the game known as stuff that you read every day on the media, on the news sites, about their babies, about their cars, about their way of life, about their fame. No longer is funny to me. No longer is interesting to me. 28 years of this stuff, and that's it. For me, no more. For everything is going to be or nothing. For absolutely everything you earned from 95 through the foreign trade. Not only concerning whether you earned inside of this room. For everything is going to be. Just like Prince Harry stated, they want to know the whole thing, if I remember the whole thing. It wasn't about knowing the whole thing, it was about involving cancer issues. It was about involving other health-related issues they have developed over the course of the years. Alcoholism from the British became so evident, so rampant, their criminal ways, that my eating habits, through the use of spy cameras, were to be used to shadow, to cast doubt on their own health issues, which I have stated earlier. That's also what Prince King Charles now attempted to use me. To conceive his needs for alcohol, alcoholism, the same thing with the Queen Elizabeth, with Prince Philip. Never mind how they developed my eating habits, never mind how they controlled my world. They wanted to prove that I am a cancer patient, diabetic, and God knows what the fuck, because of my way of life, because of my choice for the way of life they have enforced through the police, ultimately even through the psychiatry in Slovenia. That's why it's going to be on everything or nothing. You wanted me killed, you wanted me murdered, after you have exercised barrage of assassination attempts, changing me even brand new tires I have purchased for the old worn out tires, painted the road, so with oil so that I kill myself. In the name of MK Ultra proofs, what you stated you're going to do, change the tires. For fuck's sake, for God's sake, go and see. Don't you remember, don't you recall, we changed the tires. This is not MK Ultra game. This is not ha 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 game anymore. I would have you rotten in jail. I will fucking take you every fucking castle, every fucking dime you have. But I'm not going to be capable to. But I will push this claim against people of Britain, against United Kingdom. Even if it's only for the red dot that you're going to leave behind. It's going to be a fucking red dot that's going to be known in the history of the world about who the fuck you British are. You collectively worked together to murder, to kill, to rob, to steal. That's why, that's how. Since 1995, whatever the fuck you traded, whatever you earned, not only inside of this room, but whatever trade you made through from 1995, all the connections you built were based on this case, on this MK Ultra case. I earned it. It's my money. I slaved. You used me as a slave trade. And you used me for geopolitical, for other issues too. The wars were based on this MK Ultra case. From 1995, for all the foreign trade, that's how the fuck it's gonna be. That's how we're gonna do this stuff. We're gonna upgrade from that house, from that old shit house over there, into something else, so that we understand each other properly, how